the new parliament on the 20th of May in a ceremony that's replete with traditions. But why was the Sengol put away in a corner? And this has led to a huge political fight between the BJP and the Congress. That's our top focus on the NewsTrack.
The golden symbol of India's power. Hidden for decades, the Sengol returns. Why was it put away in a corner? Big fight over the golden sceptre. Has the sceptre finally found its rightful place? Rebirth of the Sengol is our top focus on the NewsTrack.
And can symbols of Indian democracy be above party politics? Is the Chola Empire Raj Dand, the sceptre, finally set to occupy its pride of place next to the Speaker in Parliament? We'll get you more on that big story, but first up, as always, the headlines. 25 political parties, including the Bahujan Samaj Party, the Akali Dal and the TDP, to attend the inauguration of the new parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hits out at the Boycott Brigade. Union Home Minister Amit Shah accuses the Congress of petty politics. Karnataka Minister Priyank Khadge promises to ban the RSS in the state. BJP asks, is he the super chief minister already? After Amul versus Nandini in Karnataka, it's Amul versus Avan in Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin seeks the Home Minister's intervention, says, let cooperatives thrive. Another historic milestone for the Indian Navy. The Navy successfully undertakes maiden night landing of the MiG-29K on board INS Vikrant. It was India Today that first highlighted the historic Chola dynasty relic, the Sengol. This was being called a golden walking stick gifted to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and we are putting out those images on your television screen. That finding has triggered a massive political fight, with the BJP accusing the Congress of relegating the Sengol to a corner for over 7 decades. The BJP claims the sceptre not being given its pride of place reflected the Congress party's disdain for Hindu rituals. The Sengol showdown is our top story tonight.
A golden symbol of India power, hidden for decades, put away in a corner. The ancient Chola relic will get pride of place in India's brand new parliament and will be installed by the Prime Minister next to the Speaker's chair. The Sengol makes a comeback on the 28th of May. But why was it forgotten all these years? It was India Today that first revealed that the Sengol, currently at Anand Bhavan Museum in Prayagraj, was described as a golden walking stick gifted to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister.
There have been so many incidents, so many heroes and heroines unsung, so many untold milestones, which we never got to know about.
Absolutely.
When Kashi Sangamam happened, you knew the innate connect between the South and the North. Similarly, this tale of the Sengol reiterates the civilizational commonality and the civilizational connect we have.
Now the BJP has reacted to India Today's newsbreak and is attacking the Congress, slamming the party for what it calls its disdain for Hindus and Hindu rituals.
not the personal property of Jawaharlal Nehru, that it should have been in the family museum. It is an instrument that symbolizes transfer of power. It is something that is intrinsic to India's history. It should have been in the parliament. Now, on the 28th of May, the Prime Minister will install it in the parliament and ensure that it is in the rightful place. Let's not reduce India to being Nehru Gandhi family's heirloom. We aren't. We are much larger than Nehru Gandhi परिवार.
हमने तो कांग्रेस के मित्रों से एक ही बात कहूंगा कि जो इतिहास आ रहा है तो सेंगोल की परंपरा से तो आपके नेता भी जुड़े रहे हैं जो पहले प्रधानमंत्री थे. इसकी सलाह राजगोपालाचारी जी ने दी थी जो गवर्नर जनरल थे. तो आइए उसी ऐतिहासिक धरोहर को देखने के लिए आ जाइए.
5 feet high, with a Nandi bull on top, the Sengol was commissioned by Thiruvadurai Adhinam, a Shaivite mutt which is over 500 years old in Tamil Nadu.
Any temple you visit in Tamil Nadu, a Shivan temple, you will see a Nandi. This must be at least 21 feet high, a magnificent structure over there, which is like adorned with bells, and even you could see that like a significant part of the tongue being outside, how the bulls keep their tongue outside, that is also being denoted.
Chennai-based jewellers Vumidi Bangaru Chetty, still popular in the city, crafted the Sengol. The jewellers are now happy that a historic wrong is being corrected.
This particular Sengol was actually mentioned to be the Prime Minister Nehru's walking stick. Is that so?
I don't know. I've seen photographs of it, but mistakes happen. That's what you and I are for, right? Media is there to correct it, and you have somebody else to see that it is restored to its past glory. So let's forget about it. It was kept safe and sound, and we are getting it back to its original prominence. That's what we are all about.
Till Wednesday, barely anyone knew about the Sengol. Now the old sceptre will get an all-new meaning. Bureau Report, India Today.
And as this report points out, till recently, most of us didn't even know of this Sengol. Had we even heard of this sceptre, a symbol of sovereignty, a symbol of transfer of power from the times of the Chola Empire? Now that tradition is now being revived after 1947. Let me now take you through that journey of the sceptre, of the Sengol, the Raj Dand, from the times of the Chola Empire to the times it was handed over to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to the time, as the BJP puts it, it was relegated to Anand Bhavan Museum at Prayagraj as the golden walking stick presented to Pandit Nehru, to now when it's all set to occupy the pride of place in Parliament.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
This landmark tryst carries a backstory. A backstory rarely told. A backstory that dates back to the Chola Empire. A Tamil dynasty that originated in the Kaveri Valley and ruled the region for over and over 500 years until the 13th century. Just before the Union Jack came down and 300 years of British rule ended. The transfer of power was emblematically encapsulated in a Tamil ceremony. Priests from prominent Tamil mutts carried a 5-foot sceptre, sprinkled it with holy water, and handed it to Pandit Nehru at his Delhi home at sunset on August 14th. This wasn't an ordinary symbol of sovereignty. Called Sengol, derived from the Sanskrit word shank or a conch, surmounted by a carving of Nandi, Shiva's sacred bull. The golden staff, made by craftsmen in what was then called Madras, was modelled after the wand that the Chola kings would hand to their successors. The choice wasn't random. It was the outcome of deep thoughts and research. Pandit Nehru turned to freedom fighter C. Gopalachari for suggestions regarding a symbol for the transfer of power from the British to the Indians. Raja Gopalachari found the answer in history. He contacted a leading mutt down south to create the Sengol of the Chola tradition. Its seer then commissioned the job to the famous Vumidi Bangaru jewelers.
The sceptre was done by my great-grandfather and my grandfather. So, I mean, even just to make the replica itself is like such a proud moment for us. I could have imagined how it would have felt for them because they actually symbolized the transfer of power. And it's a great honor for my family to have been able to make this and give it to our government at that day.
The Sengol was rebuilt in 30 days.
It was not lost. I think it went down memory lane. So we didn't know where it was. Thanks to, I think, the media Ananda Vigadan, it was revived. It was known. And then one of our family clan took the effort of backtracking it and seeing it in Allahabad, sending people there and going through the whole process.
Revived from the Chola region, handed to independent India's first Prime Minister. Mislabeled in a museum as Pandit Nehru's walking stick. Said to be reinstalled in India's new parliament, the historic Sengol story has come a full circle in 2023. Bureau Report, India Today.
So is the golden scepter, the Raj Dand, the Dharm Dand, finally getting its pride of place in the temple of Indian democracy, the parliament? Is there merit in the BJP accusing the Congress of disdain for Hindu rituals and dismissing the golden scepter as Pandit Nehru's golden walking stick? Or is there merit in the Congress saying that these are BJP's diversionary tactics? Joining me on the news track, Amarendran Vumidi is the great-grandson of the Vumidi Bangaru Chetty, the makers of the scepter. Professor Bharat Gupta is a historian and a trustee at the IGNCA. With me is also Snehlata Srivastav, former Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. Sanju Verma represents the Bharatiya Janata Party and Supriya Srinath represents the Congress on the broadcast. And I want to begin by asking you, Supriya Srinath, Amit Malviya, your counterpart in the BJP, says the Sengol was not given its pride of place. It was tucked away in Anand Bhavan and called the golden stick gifted to Nehru. He insists that this reflects disdain for Hindu rituals in the Congress.
No, I'm not going to respond to the manager of a fake news factory. I will respond to your question at large about the Senegal and all of things like that. Quite frankly, let us just step back and see what is this debate about. This debate is about India's new parliament, the reason why the opposition is boycotting the inauguration, and why is India's first citizen, the custodian of our constitution, the honorable president of this country, being denied the right to inaugurate this parliament. You tom-tom her as the first tribal woman in this august office. But when it comes to give her her due as the first citizen, as the custodian of the constitution, as the president of the republic, as the supreme commander of our forces, to inaugurate parliament, you bring in all kinds of distractionary tactics. That is not the point.
Fair enough, but we debated all the points yesterday and day before. In fact, your colleague was on the broadcast. Your colleague was on the broadcast yesterday. We've debated all of this.
Patient. I'm answering your question.
Fair enough. Go on.
Gaurav, you have to be patient. You asked me a question. Learn to be patient. I'm answering your question. Learn to be patient.
I'd be grateful if you learn to come straight to the point.
Now let's come to a distractionary argument. No, I don't need to learn my debatory tactics from you. I think I'm an excellent debater.
Excellent. Come straight to the point, ma'am.
Like you on my debating skills. You do your job. I am doing mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the Senegal now. As far as the Senegal is concerned, let's step away from tradition for a minute. Yes, it was given to Nehru, and I think Pandit Nehru, as India's first Prime Minister of independent India, did absolutely the right thing by putting it in a museum. Because India is not a monarchy. India is a parliamentary democracy. The transfer of power in India depends on the people of India by the votes that they cast. And which is why this symbolic transfer by sceptre actually is unacceptable. It's brazen symbol of Rajshahi. Why should it be? And let me also tell you these stupid arguments coming from the BJP about Anand Bhavan. Anand Bhavan in 1930 became the headquarters of the Indian National Congress, which was at the forefront of the freedom movement. In 1970, Mrs. Gandhi donated it as public property. It was lying in that museum, absolutely the right thing to do, because in a parliamentary democracy, the power rests with the people who exercise it periodically to transfer that power.
Fair enough.
Anybody has an issue with that, has an issue with the constitution of this country and also with the democracy that prevails in this nation.
Let me now take this to Sanju.
Thank you.
Let me now take this to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, respond to Supriya Srinath calling it diversionary tactics, diverting from the issue of not inviting the president and the vice president, also saying that this is a symbol of Rajshahi, not parliamentary democracy.
You know, Gaurav, I will give you a pointed response, unlike my counterpart from the Congress. And my pointed response is this. First, on the allegation that this is Rajshahi. You know, let's be very honest. As Amit Shah said, the Sengol is not just a scepter which symbolizes transfer of power, which was done in 1947 on the 14th of August from our erstwhile colonizers to India and Indians. But the Sengol is also a symbol of our rich cultural traditions, our unique history of unity in diversity, and all that we went through in our fight for independence. So to relegate it to a footnote in a Gandhi Nehru Parivar ka family museum in obscurity is absolutely not done. Point number one. Point number two, let's not try and conflate issues. You know, I see this as part of the larger picture. If you recall, Gaurav, in the last couple of years, whenever the Modi government has tried to relinquish the colonial vestiges which we inherited, the Congress has had a problem and it has raised a stink. For instance, recall that when we decided to have the 28-foot tall statue of Netaji Bose in a canopy at India Gate, which was vacated by George V way back in 1968, the Congress raised a stink. When we decided to merge the Amar Jawan Jyoti with the National War Memorial Flame, the Congress raised a stink. When we decided to have Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's insignia on INS Vikrant, the Congress raised a stink. When we decided to replace a Scottish hymn, Abide With Me, with Lata Mangeshkar's Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo at the Beating the Retreat ceremony, which is held every year at Vijay Chowk, the Congress raised a stink.
Fair enough.
So I am not surprised that when we decided to do away with the current parliament building built 96 or 97 years or odd back by Edward Lutyens and Herbert Baker and replace it with our very own new parliament building, the Congress has once again raised a stink under the same old pretext, democracy khatre mein hai. Each time you say democracy khatre mein hai,
to that, but I want to quickly...
Gaurav, 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Each time the Congress raises a stink and says democracy khatre mein hai, they should be ashamed. They are making a mockery of the 23 crore voters who voted en masse for Narendra Modi in Lok Sabha 2019.
Let me get Amrendra Gumudi. Okay. Supriya Srinath, you want to quickly respond before I bring in our other guests? Supriya Srinath.
Firstly, I think her knowledge of history and sociology is as limited as her knowledge of economics.
I don't need to learn my history or my economy from you.
It's a public property.
You were neither a good journalist when you were anchoring shows, and now you are not a good spokesperson. You are a Darbari of Rahul Gandhi. You are simply a Darbari of Rahul Gandhi. Don't give me lessons in history and economics.
My request to both
what
our
is their
guests.
Education, please tell me.
Okay, hold on. Ma'am,
Since
my
you seem
request,
to be
ma'am,
riding the high
kindly,
horse.
my request to both our guests is,
I will
let's
not
stay on
take
the
to
issue.
personal comments
Absolutely.
from this
My request to
abuser.
both our guests.
I will not
My
take
request.
to personal comments from this.
No,
abusive
okay.
Rahul Gandhi.
My request to both our guests
Can I
is,
please come in now?
yes, please. Supriya Srinath, my request to both our guests is,
stick to facts. If you abuse me,
let's stay
I
on the
will
issue,
slam
please.
your heart
Let's
fair
please
and
stay on the
square.
issue. Let's please stay on the issue. Go on, Ms. Srinath.
You know, the reality, Gaurav Sawant, is that please don't give me lectures by saying you too. You saw who was misbehaving, you saw who's speaking over the other person. I can understand their meltdown. They are seeing power slip from their hands steadily
abuse
and
Narendra
robustly.
Modi as
I
Chowkidar
understand
chor
their
hai.
frustration.
Only
You
one
abuse
person,
the
only
Narendra
Supriya
Modi
Srinath,
and others.
only Supriya Srinath,
People
only
will
Supriya
throw
Srinath.
you out in equal measure.
Oh, only Supriya Srinath, please. Only Supriya
People
Srinath,
who
one
vote
at a
you
time.
in,
Go on, ma'am.
people who vote you in will throw you out mercilessly. That is what democracy is. Come to terms with that. Don't have a meltdown because you've had a humiliating defeat in Karnataka and many more looming large going forward. Firstly, the Gandhi Nehru Museum, really? Who says Gandhi Nehru Museum for a public property like Anand Bhavan? Secondly, I said and I stick to the equal measure. You know, don't give me gyan here. Just answer one simple question. That why should the President of the Republic, according to Article 79, who is the first constituent of India's Parliament, Article 79 clearly says, President, Council of States, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. That's what India's Parliament is. You kept Ramnath Kovind out, even though he was a Dalit president. You should have got him during foundation laying stone. Now you are keeping the first tribal woman president out because this is a Modi show. But guess what? History will remember you and your government and your Tanashahi for one simple thing, that when the new parliament
And with a quick rebuttal,
in India,
this lady is spewing lies as always. Gaurav, I need time to
The moment she
rebut
finishes,
this.
I'm coming to
Gaurav, I
you.
need time to
The
rebut
moment she
this.
finishes,
that is what you have done to
Gaurav,
India's democracy.
Fair
Can you
enough,
ask this
ma'am. You
abusive
made that
lady to
point.
stop blabbering?
Okay, no personal
You can
attacks.
keep barking.
No
You can
no
keep
personal
shouting.
attacks.
Stop
My request to
blabbering.
both our
Stop
guests. My
blabbering.
request to both our guests.
Stop
I
blabbering.
have three other guests I
Kaliwali
need to go
madam,
to.
stop blabbering.
Okay.
Kaliwali
Now
madam,
Sanju
stop
Verma.
blabbering.
Only Sanju Verma.
Thank you.
Sanju Verma.
Dimwit.
No.
I want my time,
No
Gaurav.
personal. Yes,
Have
go
water,
on, ma'am.
Dimwit.
No personal
Have
attacks.
water.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sanju Verma.
Gaurav, we had a very interesting debate on your show yesterday, and I repeat for the benefit of your audience. You know, the opposition keeps harping about Article 79, Article 79. Arey, bhai sahab, ladies and gentlemen, please also read Article 74(1) and Article 75(1) of the Indian Constitution, whereby the Prime Minister has the prerogative and is well within his rights to inaugurate the new Parliament building. It is well within protocol. And Gaurav, you know, I am amused at the hypocrisy, and I have to say this. This is a political debate, so I have to make some political points. Today, the Congress suddenly has found long lost sympathy for Adarniya Draupadi Murmu ji, the same lady who was viciously attacked as a symbol of all that is evil in India by Supriya Srinath's colleague Ajay Kumar, who's an official Congress spokesperson. Draupadi Murmu was called Rashtrapatni by senior Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, and Draupadi Murmu was called Chamchagiri ki, you know, ye to had ho gayi Chamchagiri ki by Udit Raj, another Congress leader, a party which has repeatedly abused Adivasis, a party which has repeatedly abused Dalits, a party which has completely dethroned the legacy of
Ma'am,
Baba
both of you
Saheb
have made your
Ambedkar.
points. I haven't
Sonia Gandhi
interrupted
did
either
not
of
visit
you.
Ramnath Kovind for 22 months after he became the president of India. She
Okay.
did not abide by any protocol,
Okay.
and these people come here and lecture us on protocol.
Okay, but
Are you kidding me?
the debate today, and I want to bring in Amarendra Vumudi into this conversation quickly. Sir, is the Sengol, in your view, finally getting its pride of place? Do you agree with the contention that it wasn't given its pride of place since 1947 and tucked away at Anand Bhavan?
Good evening and thank you for having me here. It's very important that it's got its right time and its right position in the parliament today. what has happened before is very difficult for anybody to debate and say whether it was the right thing or wrong thing. But more important is to know that any wrong which was there or which was not there has been corrected, and which is the right thing to do is now. It has been given its right position in the parliament.
Fair enough. Professor Bharat Gop, as a historian, is there merit that the nation is learning about our civilizational history, our culture and our traditions?
Thank you very much. Giving me a chance after all this time of the great politicians talking about it, and somebody saying that democracy does not admit of an ancient symbol. Now let me clarify. This is not a religious symbol of Hinduism or any such religious denomination. It is called Rajdand. Whether it is a monarch who wields the power, or whether it is a democratically chosen prime minister who wields the power, the Rajdand means the sceptre, which, or the staff, which symbolizes law. Law which is dharma, law which is what is called kanun, law which is called diki in Greek, and all cultures have given this scepter or Rajdand as a symbol of the law according to which either a prime minister or a monarch or whosoever is supposed to govern. So I think first of all, our dear politicians in this country should catch up with their books and a bit of history, because they are really far behind this party or that. I'm not going to take any sides. So it is a great honor. Now look, what does the Artha Shastra say? The first line of Artha Shastra says very clearly, Anvikshaki Trayi Varta Dandanitishcha iti Vidya. So what is that knowledge according to which the state is to be governed? Whether by the monarch or democratic or half democratic or whatever kind of
let me also bring in Snehlata Srivastava.
Just I'll take half a minute to finish, please.
Okay, go on, sir.
Half a minute. When it is said Anvikshiki, that means analysis. When it is said Trayi, it means the whole system of knowledge. And when it is said Varta, it means business. And finally, all these things are meaningful if there is law.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll take this analysis further, but Snehlata Srivastava, a point that's been raised, and an important point that's been raised by Supriya Srinath, is does a Rajdand being in parliament, is it reflective of monarchy or does it take away from the democracy? That's point one. Point two, a ceremony with the mantrocharan, the prayers, the installation of Rajdand next to the speaker, does that, as some argue, take away from India's secular tradition, or does it add to our civilizational history? Ms. Srivastava.
Good evening, and thank you for having me on your this platform. I would say that the Sengol is just a symbol, and it has a history, and very rich history, and it is a beautiful, beautifully made, and it is placed in the parliament near the speaker's chair. As a former Secretary General, had I been there on the chair as Secretary General, I don't think I will have any, problem having this Sengol established there near the speaker's chair. It is a very rich history of ours, which is being indicated.
Supriya Srinath, some of the experts say that it reminds people that of their duty towards the nation. The Sengol symbolizes India's civilizational history, our traditions. The Home Minister spoke of it. He's also urged all political parties to attend this ceremony. And as leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge has also been invited to speak. Ma'am, will the Congress rethink its position?
No, absolutely not, because I think it is up to India's opposition to stand up unitedly to save the honor of the first citizen of this country. And I'm sorry to say, it's very dim-wit to say that we were opposing Miss Murmu. Of course we were, because that's politics. You were opposing Pratibha Patil, we were opposing Miss Murmu. But once she's elected, she's all our president. She is the president, she's the first citizen of 140 crore Indians. And when she is going to be denied her justifiable position to inaugurate a building as important as our new parliament, of course we need to stand up for her honor and her prestige. And why should we not? I think there are 20 parties that have said that we are not going to attend. I will only say one thing, and I'll take 30 seconds to say this, Gaurav, because it's important this is said. Mr. Modi has been misled to believe that this is going to be his epitaph that the history will remember him for. History doesn't remember him for
the moment she finishes.
I'm not going to listen to passion from this lady.
No, ma'am, hold on. Just let her finish. Just, ma'am, give me 30 seconds. Let her complete.
Dealing with unemployment.
She's digressing from the topic. The topic is not about Prime Minister Modi. The topic is about Sengol and the new
allow me to
parliament.
judge that. Kindly let her finish. I'll come to
This lady
you.
keeps abusing the Prime Minister and then thinks she is an excellent debater. She's living in La La Land.
Okay, ma'am, kindly let her finish her point. I'm coming to you. Ms.
She
Srinath,
can't
go on.
keep going on a rant.
Ma'am, hold on. Allow me to be the judge. Kindly. Go on, Ms. Srinath.
History remembers you that after 200 years of British rule, you built IIT, AIMS, ISRO, BARC. History remembers you for Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. History remembers you to lay the foundation of IT and telecom.
I am sorry, you will have to wait till she finishes her point. Ma'am, the moment she finishes her point, nobody will accuse me of not giving equal time to all our guests, please. Let her finish. I will come to you, ma'am. Ms. Srinath, go on.
May I?
Yes, quickly.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Gaurav, I will stick to the topic. I don't have the bad habit of digressing.
I'm only saying,
let me just say one thing.
Okay, only Supriya Srinath, kindly permit Supriya Srinath to make her point. I'm coming to you in just a moment. Supriya, go on.
History remembers you to build IIT, AIMS, BARC and ISRO. History remembers you for Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. History remembers you to lay the foundation of 21st Indian century by taking a leapfrog in IT and telecom revolution. History remembers you for 1991 liberalization. History remembers you for Manrega and for Right to Information and for Food Security Act. And history remembers you to divide Pakistan into two and to change the geography of this world. History doesn't remember you for buildings. Mr. Modi has been wrongly led to believe that he will be remembered for this new parliament.
Fair
he
enough.
will be remembered for
Let me get Sanju Verma to respond. We will stick to the issue today. Okay, only Sanju Verma now. Only Sanju Verma now. And Sanju Verma respond. 20 political parties are not attending this ceremony. In a democracy, should the government not be reaching out to the opposition and bring them on board? This is, after all, an event for the nation.
Gaurav, now I need my 2 minutes.
Go on,
I will just say this to you. There is a famous saying, गिरगिट मौसम देखकर और मौका देखकर रंग बदलती है. But इंसान चुनावी मौसम देखकर अपना रंग बदलता है. And I'm talking of the Congress party here. A party which has never stood in solidarity with either Dalits or the marginalized or Adivasis is today giving bhashan to the BJP. Oh, now that Draupadi Murmu is our honorable president, we are standing in solidarity with her. I challenge the Congress. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, and you lead by example. And if you indeed believe that Draupadi Murmu is somebody you respect, why haven't you even bothered to suspend, forget, expelling Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who called Draupadi Murmu as Rashtra Patni? Have you expelled Ajay Kumar, who had the audacity to say that Draupadi Murmu represents the evil philosophy of India? Now let me make some very pertinent points very quickly. What is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's legacy? Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because here I saw the Congress giving me a long bhashan about all that Nehru has done. The world's largest financial inclusion scheme, Jan Dhan Yojana, thanks to Narendra Modi. The world's largest health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat, thanks to Narendra Modi. The world's largest sanitation scheme,
when you were speaking, I did not let Sanju Verma intervene.
Today, India is the world's fastest growing economy for the third year in a row. India is the world's fastest growing economy for the third year in a row. Under Nehru, our average GDP growth was less than 3.5%. Thanks to Nehru, we saw the balkanization of India and POK being carved out. POK is rightfully ours. Your Nehru was napping when POK happened.
Again,
Where Nehru was
I
nothing,
request
madam.
both of you. I
When
request
Tibet
both of you
was
to come back to the
encroached upon by
point
Chinese
of the
authorities.
scepter and the Sengol in Parliament. And Professor Gupta, what's the point of having the Sengol or Rajdand in Lok Sabha when 20 political parties are staying away, saying this is not what is expected in a democracy? Professor Gupta.
Yes, if you will honestly ask me, Sengol sanctifies, as I said, the law. Now, all these political parties which are boycotting this great and holy and wonderful ceremony are doing it for purely political reasons. And I am very sorry to say that their own ancestors like Jawaharlal Nehru or even Mulayam Singh Yadav would not have been so petty as they are today. These parties are not thinking of the nation. These parties which are boycotting, they are working part of a toolkit. I am saying it, I am making a charge. They are working because of a toolkit. This toolkit is operating.
On what basis are you saying this?
People who want to displace.
I take a lot of offense to a non-partisan, non-political person saying this nonsense.
This is the real reason why they are doing it.
I take a lot of offense to
Now
that,
look,
Gaurav.
the whole thing. Now please shut up.
Yes,
No, hold on. Allow me. Let's all remain civil.
We believe in reckless lies and falsehood.
No. My request to all our guests. No, I am sorry. My request to all our guests is let's please keep this civil. There are a lot of people watching this, and let's okay. Let me just everybody calm down. I want to bring in Snehlata Srivastav. Ma'am, you've been Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. 20 political parties are staying away from one, the installation of the Sengol or the dedication of the new temple of democracy to the nation. Ma'am, in your appreciation, does that take away from this ceremony? Or does that strengthen our democracy? That it's their democratic right. They want to stay away, they're staying away.
I think this occasion is a historical occasion, and everybody has to rise from, the politics or whatever stand they are taking for whatever reasons, and should attend this ceremony. It is one of its kind, and it is going to happen after many years. It may happen in future after many years. So it is an occasion which I think as a common citizen now, that the parties should come together and should attend the function.
Okay.
I would also add that it is the government duty also to to reach out to these political parties who are opposing it and try to build a bridge and get them.
For the sake of the nation, build a bridge, bring the opposition on board, address their concerns. And I will get Sanju Verma, I'll come to you to respond to this, but Supriya Srinath, Mayawati has come out very strongly supporting this ceremony. And Mayawati, I'm sure you've read her tweet, but for the benefit of our viewers, I want our viewers to listen to this. राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी द्वारा नए संसद का उद्घाटन नहीं कराए जाने को लेकर जो बहिष्कार है वो अनुचित है. So she says the boycott is incorrect, it's improper. सरकार ने इसको बनाया है, इसीलिए उसके उद्घाटन का हक सरकार को है. इसको आदिवासी महिला के सम्मान से जोड़ना भी अनुचित है. Incorrect to link it to the respect of an आदिवासी महिला. यह उन्हें निर्विरोध न चुनकर उनके विरुद्ध उम्मीदवार खड़ा करते वक्त सोचना चाहिए था. Respond to this, Supriya Srinath. Mayawati has been Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh 4 times. She is the BSP Supremo. She says in national interest, these political issues could have been kept aside like her party is doing. They are attending.
So why should I believe one Mayawati and disbelieve 20 other political parties in this country, and some of them in charge of states and chief ministers there? Do they not represent the popular mandate? I come from UP. So I can tell you Miss Mayawati has got a phone call, and Miss Mayawati has made it very clear what sort of political formulation is going to happen in Uttar Pradesh. She is always going to defend the BJP because she is their B team. I don't want to get into Miss Mayawati or not. I am asking you, should I believe her or should I believe 20 other political parties who choose to take a stand? And I will on your show make a very strong objection to what was said by an alleged historian. Somebody who retweets Hemanto Biswa Sarma, don't you dare call the political party
may I
running
please
a
come in?
Okay.
I take a.
Why do you give a platform to this abusive lady?
Sanju Verma wants to respond. Sanju Verma wants to respond.
Every right to do what we do.
Fair enough, it is your right. Okay, Sanju Verma, respond to leaders who say this is BJP forcing the Hindu Rashtra agenda. Respond, ma'am.
You know, Gaurav, we are a country with more than 79% Hindu population. But I'm very proud that Narendra Modi is a man who in October 2021 also visited Pope Francis. He's the same man who also puts a chadar at Ajmer Dargah. But he is also a man who takes immense pride and wears his Hindu nationalism on his sleeves when he inaugurates or lays the foundation stone of the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir. We do not believe in fake or pseudo-secularism like Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh, who used to attend iftar parties. And it is the same party which wanted to bring in the communal violence bill in 2013 to target Hindus. So please stop us the lecturing on false secularism. We don't need lessons from you. And I have this to say, Gaurav. You know, very quickly, people are saying, you know, protocol is being broken. I say this. Every opposition party, particularly the Congress, kept stonewalling the Central Vista project and the new parliament building. Thanks to the Supreme Court in June 2021, a two-judge bench by Justice Khanwilkar and Justice Sanjeev Khanna said this is a project of national importance, completely, you know, putting in jeopardy the Congress, which had egg all over its face and was wanting to stonewall this project. And today, they expect magnanimity from Narendra Modi. Your Jawaharlal Nehru laid the foundation stone of the Karnataka Vidhan Sabha in 1956. Your Indira Gandhi laid the foundation stone of the Maharashtra Vidhan Bhavan in 1981. Your Rajiv Gandhi laid the inauguration ceremony in 1987 of the Parliament Library building. Your alliance government in Maharashtra opened the new annexi of the Mantralaya. And you did not invite Bhagat Singh Koshyari, the then governor. In 2019, you did not invite the Chhattisgarh governor, and you had Bhupesh Singh Baghel, inaugurate the Mantralaya building of Chhattisgarh.
So are all these past precedents?
You to give a lecture to the BJP.
Okay.
You have no political morality to lecture the BJP.
Supriya Srinath, last 30 seconds. Last 30 seconds. Supriya Srinath, please respond, ma'am. Okay, we'll try and reestablish that link with Supriya Srinath in just a moment. But I want to bring in Snehlata Srivastav. Ma'am, there are 25 political parties that are attending and there are 20 political parties that have decided to boycott. Leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha has been invited to speak at this solemn occasion. Ma'am, will it take away from this august ceremony from the temple of democracy if 20 political parties are boycotting, or if leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, when he's invited to speak, is not there?
I would say that it would be ideal to have all the political parties, whether opposition, 25 parties, 20 parties, they all should be there to mark this occasion and to celebrate this occasion in a true spirit. If somebody is not there and the chair is vacant, somebody who is to speak and he's not there, it doesn't, give a good, good show or good taste. So it is.
I will let that be the last word on the show. I've run out of time. I've run out of time on this part of the debate. To all our guests, many thanks for joining me. We, of course, will be tracking this ceremony very, very closely on Sunday. A quick break at this stage, but don't go anywhere. As Pakistan continues to explode, citizens in Pakistan, they're talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Hiroshima. They're talking about his visit to Papua New Guinea. They're talking about his visit and his address at Sydney. What are the Pakistanis saying? I'll tell you on the other side of a quick break. Stay with us.
Where the software engineer meets the smart market analyst, meets the talented photographer, to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
We broke CM Sita 48 hours before all.
Such a victory
Most of them have.
We broke Deputy CM DK 12 hours before wrong.
Their exit poll was the exact poll.
We broke Karnataka formula 72 hours before wrong.
We have that answer for you now on India Today. Siddaramaiah will be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka.
India's #1 political team is unrivaled. Every news break, first on your channel.
You're now smiling and accepting Deputy Chief Ministership.
We have promised them that we'll give a good government with a good governance.
Keeping you ahead is our promise. The war has ended. India Today stands tall.
Quality today. In Delhi, 102. In Mumbai, 53. In Kolkata, 93. In Bangalore, 64. In Chennai, 85. In Hyderabad, 69.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned to Delhi today after a successful 3-nation, 6-day tour. The Australian Prime Minister called him the boss. The American President asked for his autograph. All praise, and India's global power play is making Pakistan very envious. Why? We'll bring you this report.
और उधर उन्हें ऐसा प्रोटोकॉल मिला कि आसमान पे मोदी लिखा हुआ है और मोदी साहब क्या कह रहे हैं कि वो है इंडिया।
इस आदमी की ये है, क्या है, करिश्मा है, होल्ड ओवर द पीपल ऐसा है, इतना पॉपुलर है।
इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने आपको पता है क्या कहा मोदी को? उसने कहा मोदी यू आर बॉस। अब आप सोच लें आपके लिए क्या लफ्ज इस्तेमाल होते हैं पूरी दुनिया में।
और बड़ी एक खबर में देख रही थी, मैंने कहा प्रेसिडेंट बाइडेन ने किसी का ऑटोग्राफ मांगा है, तो वो कौन है जिसका ऑटोग्राफ प्रेसिडेंट बाइडेन मांग रहे हैं?
I like Modi, I love Modi.
The rockstar reception received by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Sydney, Australia, has even his most trenchant critics in Pakistan in absolute awe.
इस आदमी की ये है, क्या है, करिश्मा है, होल्ड ओवर द पीपल ऐसा है, इतना पॉपुलर है।
Listen to this comment of Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese calling Prime Minister Narendra Modi the boss.
The last time I saw someone on the stage here was Bruce Springsteen, and he didn't get the welcome that Prime Minister Modi has got. Prime Minister Modi is the boss.
From television studios to the streets of Lahore, Pakistanis just cannot stop talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi being acknowledged as the boss overseas.
देखिए अभी पूरी दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है कि मोदी साहब का आसमानों पे नाम लिखा जा रहा है, किसी मुल्क के वजीर आजम जो हैं वो मोदी साहब के पाँव छू रहे हैं, अमेरिकन जो सदर हैं वो मोदी साहब को प्रोटोकॉल दे रहे हैं और मोदी साहब को बॉस कहा जा रहा है।
In fact, YouTubers and social media in Pakistan is abuzz with Modi's name being emblazoned across the skies of Sydney. The fact that US President Joe Biden walked up to Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hiroshima and sought his autograph ahead of the state dinner, saying tickets have already been sold out for the Prime Minister's dinner and people continue to seek more tickets, has journalists in Pakistan virtually spellbound.
तो हुआ कुछ यूं है, आप जानते हैं क्वाड की जो मीटिंग थी उसकी जो G7 की क्वाड की साइडलाइन मीटिंग जो है उसमें उनकी जो मुलाकात हुई इंडिया के पीएम मोदी के साथ, तो उस पर उन्होंने वो खुद से उनके पास चल कर आए और उन्होंने कहा कि यू आर टू पॉपुलर। जो आवाम है वहाँ पर आपकी क्रेजी हो रही है और जो हमारी टिकट्स हैं, आपको पता है ना कि विजिट है इंडिया का वो वॉशिंगटन में जो है उसमें व्हाइट हाउस में, तो उसके लिए जो उनकी टिकट्स हैं वो ऑलरेडी सोल्ड आउट।
Analysts argue it's India's growing international stature and ability to help countries that has taken India to newer heights. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's stature is being compared to top global leaders who visit multiple countries in a single foreign visit.
भारत के वजीर आज़म जो नरेंद्र मोदी हैं, उन्होंने क्या ग्लोबल लीडर की तरह एक्ट करना शुरू कर दिया है। बाइडेन हो या फ्रेंच प्रेसिडेंट हो या जो बड़े लीडर्स हैं, वो जब एक दफ़ा मुल्क से निकलते हैं तो वो सिर्फ एक मुल्क के लिए नहीं निकलते, वो 2, 3, 4, 5 मुल्कों के लिए निकलते हैं, पूरा एक सीरीज़ करते हैं वो। तो मोदी साहब जो हैं वो भी इसी तरह जो है वो एक सीरीज ऑफ विजिट्स करते हैं।
With India's growing stature and Pakistan falling to new lows, civil society in Pakistan is urging their establishment to forget their Kashmir obsession and seek better ties with India for this region to progress. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, that is all we have time for on the News Track this evening. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Pranav Salkar saw his mother struggle to get water after coming back from work every day. The nearest source of water was half a kilometer away.